Movie House is a podcast where four friends / film fans get together to talk about a thing that we love, movies. We're able to keep the show entirely sponsorship free thanks to our supporters on Patreon, some of whom got a full 2-hour version of this episode, totally unedited. So if you like the show and want extra content or just want to help us keep it going, check us out on Patreon. And even if you aren't in a position to do so, we hope you enjoy the episode.
Anyway, hi everyone, welcome to Movie House.
Oh, wow, what an intro.
On a podcast.
What an intro.
James,
Hi, I'm
what have you been
James.
up to?
Watching K-pop Demon Hunters, listening to the K-pop Demon Hunters soundtrack.
Sick.
Basically, that's it. Yeah.
Elyse, what have you been up to?
Loving happy everything from the Happy Madison catalog.
Hell yeah. Ryan, what have you been up to?
Don't take my answer.
I was I just got back from tubing down a river trip. Saw Buckethead down
All right,
in a
Buckethead.
cave.
Yeah.
And,
I'm sorry, what?
I saw a man in a mask with a bucket, a Kentucky Fried Chicken bucket on his head, shred guitar underground
He's your pyramid head.
in a cave.
What were the acoustics like?
Better than you would think. It was actually really, and PBS state-funded television was recording it.
Good for
Wow.
them.
I'm surely going to be in the shot. I'm just.
You have to stop doing this, Ryan.
You'll see me bouncing around with my KFC bucket, and I'm never stopping moving. You'll see my little bucket with my blue shirt on, and watch me
How do you
PBS
even find out
Buckethead
about
in the
this stuff?
caverns.
It's like you live on a different planet.
Well, I was gonna just an overarching point. I guess it will kind of be a spoiler alert for my thoughts on these two films. Is I thought one of these movies we got a fucking story.
Okay.
I was like, wow. This is what the movies. This is what a superhero movie is supposed to do. I actually feel like I'm there and like I'm in these people's perspective and the way it develops is awesome. And then I feel like one of them was very much the like jam packed, way too much exposition, like too much plot.
I can't guess which one.
I
Yeah,
can't
it
either.
could go either
It
way.
could go
I'm
either
very
way.
Really?
curious.
Yeah.
I think it could go
Well,
either way.
I did not like, and it was the inverse of what my expectations. I did not like Superman, and I love Fantastic Four.
Okay.
Couldn't you
I
relate
couldn't
to the
believe it.
parents?
No, I wanted more of that. You know,
His hillbilly parents?
Yes, give me more of Kansas.
Why did they
Superman,
write
Clark
those
Kent.
people to be so stupid?
Actually, everyone in that movie's stupid.
But Alana, those
Poor parents.
okay, there's nature versus nature, but I do not believe that
They
that
erased
they
it.
erased
Well,
Yeah.
the problem is they're like, all right, how do we make them relatable? They go, where's the clicker? I can't find the clicker. And I'm like, okay, well, we could have. They could speak with an accent. Like,
yeah, I was
A
like,
lot
they
of
made
people
them
in that movie are
so
really dumb.
just bumpkin stupid that I was like, what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
Yeah.
Clark, I can't turn my phone on. You're
Are you there?
Martha. You're talking
Yeah.
into the phone now. Whoa. Okay, so you didn't like Superman, but you did like Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe
You love
it.
Fantastic Four.
I love Fantastic Four.
Okay.
I thought it was like it like I said, it brought me back to what the whole superhero thing was supposed to be. Like the whole it's been a while since an origin story thing. Like I was actually
Hold on
like,
a
there
minute.
along.
I gotta
for the
jump in.
ride.
I gotta jump in.
Okay, I'm sorry. Maybe
I
it
gotta
wasn't
jump
an
in.
origin story.
Real quick. I like Superman more than Fantastic Four.
Me too.
Really?
I
Same.
thought Fantastic
Yeah.
Four. I
Yeah.
thought Fantastic Four was
What
fine,
The fuck?
and I only liked Superman. I didn't love Superman.
Same.
What?
I liked it, and I thought Fantastic Four was fine. So they're kind of floating in the same bubble for me. But I would definitely say
Interesting.
Superman aspired for more, which I admire, and I thought Superman had a stronger story than Fantastic Four. My biggest thing that drives me crazy about Fantastic Four is that it's called First Steps, and it's not an origin story. We jump right in. They've been doing this, I don't know, 15 years? I have no idea. It's pretty,
Okay.
maybe there's a straight line. So we don't see their first steps. They take no first steps. Also, Fantastic Four features a baby.
Who
The baby does not
doesn't
have
take
its
a
first steps
step.
because the movie jumps ahead 4 years. We
Yeah.
do not see the first steps, literally or metaphorically, in Fantastic
You're right.
Four.
Garbage
First Steps.
film,
Okay.
false
Drives
Drives
advertising.
me crazy. That's it. That's my nitpick.
Okay. Origin story was the wrong term. I did not read these comics, so like whatever.
Yeah.
But we do get that ABC special that I thought did a very nice job of just putting everything into context and perspective, catching you up on their lives and everything,
Uh-huh.
to where that was enough of an origin story for me. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm up to date with what's going on in these people's lives. Whereas Superman, on the other hand, a character I do know, starts off with the most insane title screen I've ever seen of exposition. You know, with the
It is-
where I thought
I do
James
agree,
Gunn was
yeah.
like, thought he was so clever going 8
3
years or
no,
3
it was
decades.
3 decades, 3 years, 3 months, 3 weeks.
And I'm
3
sitting there
minutes, or
reading
whatever.
this, and I'm like, and yeah, they're getting into like international politics within the title
Yeah, I agree.
scroll of this thing. I'm like, what are we doing here? And then it
I mean,
starts
Star
off-
Wars does the same thing.
right? But they, for one, it looks, they give you
Well,
more time to read it.
I
But
would
it was
also-
scrolly and stuff.
It was scrolly.
But Star Wars did cool
Yeah,
scroll.
and this one was a
And then
lot
do
of
cool
information.
pan
There's a lot of stuff going on, and then I was so confused by the end of it. Like yeah, because they also jump into, oh, Superman's been doing this for a while, but like I really didn't get a perspective.
I wasn't
of
confused.
Just kind of, what was
I
it?
wasn't confused.
You weren't confused with all the stuff.
Some
on
of
the
it, I
screen?
just felt like it was inconsequential to what I was about to see.
But then why? You know,
Again, like the
what's
happy,
point?
like
It-
us coming up with the plot of Happy Gilmore 2. I do it, and then I take what I need, and
It was
I
so
don't
much more
remember what that initial
needless
stuff
Yeah,
is.
and I don't think it matters.
I
Exposition.
agree with you, Ryan.
Thank
I
you.
agree. And when it started, I was like, here we go. Okay.
Yeah.
We're already setting, I mean, it's Superman. It's naive to not set this at a global scale, but oh boy, this is Attack of the Clones all over again. We're talking trade wars and stuff. That being said, I do think that the movie handled it better than that crawl did.
Yeah.
And so
I wonder what the movie's like without the crawl. Because, like,
I don't think you need the
I
crawl
kind of
even.
don't either. Maybe that was a test screening thing where, like, maybe they did not originally have that opening text, and then people were like, "Well, what's the context?"
they
So
took
had
it to
add
Kansas or whatever. And they were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
To
And they were
me,
like, "What? Who did this on?"
It just seems so straightforward. There's a conflict between two fictional countries that might
Fictional.
allude to some other one that exists, and it's billionaire bad.
This is my issue with both of these movies, though, is because we're so desperate to reinvent these franchises. Everything. God forbid we come up with an original idea that has a purpose. We have to figure out how to take something that people are already aware of and cram it into a thing that's not the same as the thing that we've already seen doesn't make $1 billion
Just
at the
do
box
Logan
office, right?
again.
Like we can't. We're trying to jam it in there. So with both Fantastic Four and Superman, we end up with something where they go, well, we can't just tell the story of Clark coming to Earth. We can't do that because that's been done. We can't just have the Fantastic Four all meeting each other, going up into space and getting hit by cosmic rays because that's been done. So we have to do something else, even if those two things are intrinsic to the story that you're trying to tell. So you have to find a new entry point into both of these franchises, and I don't think it works great with either of them, honestly.
I disagree. I think that with Superman it does not work. But with Fantastic Four, like I said, I have no connection to these characters. I didn't know that they got hit by a cosmic ray, but like I didn't. The way they did it in this movie, I didn't feel like I was missing anything.
Yeah, because they were
Whereas-
telling you. That's what I'm saying, though. They were telling you everything.
Yeah, but they were just. What's wrong with that? I guess.
No, it is an interesting struggle that they have, that especially both of these from different companies, both of these movies, like we can't do the fucking origin stories anymore. We just got to shove people in there as best we can. And like, I always feel like giving someone a news broadcast to give them context is the laziest possible writing. But like in this case, what else are they even meant to do? Like, how else do you even tell where they came from? Or do we just not care? Like, it's such a weird problem that we have because there are so many of these movies and so many origin stories. So anyone who's seen fucking Superman come out, 4 times? 4th reboot? 5th reboot?
Well, I mean, yeah,
Well,
Depends what
are
you
Reeves.
Routh.
Well, there's also
Ralph.
the one before
Cavill.
Reeves.
But Ralph is also not an origin because we were already going through this phase where they were like, well, we can't do an origin story. So they had to re-origin
wild.
him by tying it into the technically it's a Christopher Reeve sequel that is a re-origin story. Man of Steel was the only full reboot of the
There's
franchise.
George Reeves.
Yeah,
There's
Reeves.
Lois and Clark, Smallville.
So
Like, why can't they just James Bond him at this point and just not bother with the origin? We know who Superman is, right?
I think that's what they're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
But-
Like that's what we are James Bonding all of these things now.
Yeah.
But then ultimately, is the origin of him the most interesting part of him?
Superman.
Is that where the problem then arises?
I think that for Superman in particular, you kind of need it.
What?
because
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
well, just to that point, because that was kind of what I was getting hung up on with Fantastic Four was, well, among other things, the thing in particular, to me, the most interesting thing about him is his internal conflict with what's happened to him and how it's changed him. and he has this power, but now he's effectively this monstrosity. And I didn't really find him interesting as a character
Really?
in this movie because that's not explored in any way. And him just clobbering is the Hulk and any other kind of big brute enforcer. So I didn't really get anything from that character in that I walked away and felt like, wow, that was a really great take on the thing that they did in this.
So that was my big thing about Fantastic Four. And this isn't the only way to tell a story, but ultimately we entered in as they were already established. Their family dynamic was sound. And pretty much all of them were like, this is who we are. We've accepted who we are. And then at the end of it, there's nowhere for them to go. Throughout the whole movie, it feels like there's nowhere for their characters to go. And they, at the end, remain unchanged.
The conflict really is baby? That's
Kind
the
of,
conflict.
but it's really it's not really an inconvenience because they wanted a baby. There's hints of Reed Richards going, I'm really smart and I'm used to being able to control everything, but growing a baby inside of someone's uterus, I can't control that.
I can't control women's uterus.
Like it is. Damn you. There's hints of that. There's glimmers of that there, and it causing him some stress. But he doesn't really have to confront any sort of major hurdle or anything. Same with Thing. There's like one scene where they have where Reed goes, like, they have a look, and he's like, I made you the spacesuit. Hopefully, it's better than last time.
Because you're a big ugly rock man now.
Yeah, because the last time I made you a spacesuit, you turned into a rock monster. And Thing is like, it's cool, man. And I'm like, what are we working
they
through?
Introduced that little relationship bit with him and then kind of cut it off.
Yeah,
go
well,
anywhere,
that's
right?
the other thing
Yeah.
too. Is there's a world where he's like, I've accepted who I am, but I can't necessarily accept that someone else would be able to love me. That's a great, like, he's already established, but now here's a new challenge for him to overcome.
Maybe it was meant to be there.
I think it maybe was meant to. There's a lot that's clearly cut. If you watch John Malkovich filmed this movie, Fantastic Four.
Really?
He's not in. So there's a lot that has been shaved
I suspect
down.
that the
They did a
ending
good
was
job
supposed to be
editing
very
it
different.
then.
I don't know.
I
For
thought it
me, it
looked
feels
good.
like there's so much missing that
Really?
like it feels like they were they made a movie that maybe took some swings, and then at a certain point through, maybe it wasn't good, maybe the swings weren't good, or they just needed it. They needed to be successful. They can't have a Thunderbolts. They can't have anything. That they just kept shaving bits off, and the end result is this unremarkable marble for me. Because like even the Ben Grimm stuff, he sees this woman and he's like, I should go flirt with her. And I'm like, that's interesting. He's good. Like, he's good. He's totally fine with it. Johnny Storm, I'm glad that he wasn't just an airheaded doofus, like, what is it, Fantastic Four 2, where he fucks off to go do a BMX show or whatever. I'm like, this is lame. But I think that in this, they're like, oh, we're going to show him he's competent, but also kind of like interested in women. And I go, okay, but then what is he learning? What is he overcoming? What are they doing?
I felt both of these movies kind of struggled with that a little, in that neither of them have a ton of character development. I felt that way about Superman as well, in that I think his most interesting struggle, and I'm actually fully in favor of the origin change, because I think where you come from is not the point.
Yeah.
As Mewtwo wisely once said, it is not the circumstances of which we are born that matters, it's what we do with the gift of life that shapes us, or whatever the fuck Mewtwo said.
Yeah, great.
That I think is actually really interesting, but I don't feel like they do much with that presentation. It's a like shock, but I think that like where you come from does not matter.
Doesn't define you.
Yeah, and like I think that's a really interesting thing to like especially explore for people who maybe have abusive parents or something like that, where it's like you do not have to carry that trauma around with you. You can be your own person. You are what the choices that you make now. I don't feel like they did very much with that, and I wish they had have. And I think that that's also just a franchise thing. I fully agree neither of these movies has a ton of character development, and I was surprised with Fantastic Four. I was actually very interested in the plot, and then I was like, damn, I don't know how they're going to defeat Galactus, and I don't know how this baby thing is going to work. And I'm like, I'm curious to see how these things happen, but I wasn't interested in the characters very much, which is like such an odd, I almost never have that, where I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really interested in what's going to happen here, and that's crazy. What is this baby? Because I didn't know anything about what the baby's powers are and Googled it afterwards. So I was super interested in that, but I think that that's partly a franchise problem where they're so precious with their characters and so shiny with their characters that nobody's allowed to really take any risks. So like you can't really have character growth because it requires like breaking Superman or breaking Reed Richards in some way that they need to be fixed. So they all have to be like just shiny, complete pawns
Yes.
in
Yeah.
a big
And
plot.
That's
if we want to have a fun romp for our audience, we really want to come back to see a Marvel movie, we can't feed them anything that's going to be too heavy.
Totally.
And I want to say, I thought both movies were fun. I thought they both were
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the reason maybe I edge out Superman is because there were points where I was like, that's Superman. Like it was like that Hugh Jackman gif from The Fountain where you see like the beams of light. There's some moments where he would do things or say things or just move in a way, and I go, oh my God, that's a Superman right there. And I didn't
I felt like
necessarily.
it also had I felt like Superman had a lot of heart.
There
And
was- yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the sentiment of
I believed him wanting to be so good.
me too,
And so just.
in a way that was like, I don't know. I feel like that's not seen that much in superhero movies or in media at all, where we do have like, it's kind of trending right now, especially I think since Succession, to have like shitty rich white people being shitty rich white people is a huge
Mhm.
thing that keeps coming out over and over and over again in media. It's really fucking
Popular
boring.
subject.
It's boring. That's why
Yeah, total
I
subject.
stopped watching the White Lotus because I was like, I don't enjoy
It's
this.
the same kind of thing, right?
And the big themes that I totally agree that the themes of like found family and distancing yourself from your origins or writing your own story didn't get quite hammered home enough with him. But there were big broad themes like journalism is important,
Yeah.
billionaires bad,
Do the right thing no matter what.
do the right thing no matter what, war for like fostering war for the sake of profiteering and creating conflict bad. Like there were all these big
Which is the thing, like I feel like even most superhero films are terrified to touch, even
Yeah.
though we all know that. Like,
Yeah, there were all these
that may
like
be
really
Superman.
big themes that I felt like, wow, it's addressing and saying these things, and that's pretty cool.
it made me feel warm, and as
Yeah.
such, cool with it.
When
Uh,
he is like where the fuck's my dog or whatever. I know
I
he didn't
felt
say where the
that.
fuck's my
I felt
dog,
that.
but like, yeah.
Yeah.
Which,
Too much
as,
crypto.
as someone who didn't really
didn't like
connect with
crypto.
crypto, usually there's anything with a dog and I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel this with my whole being. I didn't quite connect with crypto, but I connected with him in that moment where he was like, where's the dog? My big problem was when he said that he was in a foster situation, and I'm like, dog sitting your cousin's dog is not, you would never use that word to
It's true.
describe it. That was
That's true.
misleading.
Actually-
I would say I would chalk that up to him clearly warming up to this dog, and then but you know when you try and describe to other people. I had a friend once who was dating someone and described it like, "Oh, it's your girlfriend." He's like, "Not my girlfriend," but someone who would be upset to hear that I'm not describing her as
That's
my
interesting.
girlfriend.
Yeah.
And I go, that just means you are
A jerk.
a jerk, but also like you're putting a wall up in front of this thing because you're afraid of what it might mean for
Yeah.
you,
Mitch
right?
Hedberg joke.
It's also a Mitch Hedberg joke. But so I think that there's a certain aspect of that I read in with this where he's like, it's a foster situation. I go, you love this dog, don't you?
Yeah, I can see that. He's
But-
putting a wall up.
I also didn't love crypto because it didn't look good.
Yeah,
I thought
looked like shit.
crypto looked like a rubbery mess, and the only thing that worked for me was when Superman burst into Lex Luthor's office and was like, "Where's my fucking
Where's the
dog?"
dog?
And I was like, "Oh, that's a cool moment. I relate to that."
It's very simple, but I thought that Crypto trying to chase any flying thing was real cute. I just thought it was real cute. Like, you know what? I get that. That's a dog being cute, and I
Yeah.
like it.
But then we run into this superhero. I'm like, Superman didn't know that those cameras were part of this. Like he goes, "Crypto, get the cameras," and then he goes, and I'm like, "That's funny," but like he has laser eyes, and he also like caught a squirrel, or like this is the issue with Superman that I have that
It
no
always
one's
comes
ever
back to the
figured
laser
out.
eyes.
He's got laser eyes,
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
and he doesn't use them.
Does he have to
Ever.
power them up?
He's got
though?
laser
Does he have like
eyes.
a finite amount of laser?
I don't
and then
know,
he
but
uses
maybe
it?
that's a great solution that we could figure out where he can go, "It takes me a while to charge up my laser eyes and my
Yeah.
cold breath." He only when it's not convenient, he doesn't use them, right? And same with his speed, and all these things happen even when he's fighting himself at the end of the movie,
Worst part.
which is
Mhm.
like, come on, guys, I get it. We have to stop having clones battle each other. Like
Superhero
Black
movies
Panther is
always-
such a fun movie, but the fact that he's battling a less well-rendered version of himself at the end of that is so unsatisfying.
I think
but either way,
Superman is a problem because he's just so strong that they don't ever know what to do, and that's why the more interesting fight with Superman is making it an internal struggle and not having it be some like bad
Yeah.
guy, because it's like impossible.
yeah,
Ryan's like, I hate self-reflection.
yeah. So I don't know.
I don't want to think about myself at all.
I will say to both of these movies' credits, the action climax happens in the daytime.
Yeah.
I love that, and I was very much
didn't think
appreciative.
about that.
Not a single,
True.
no movie in the last 10 years would dare put a CG action fight scene in the daytime.
True.
Because they would hide everything at night. And I was like, hey, both these movies take place during the day.
I
Love
thought
it.
outside of Crypto and the baby, also they
Oh my
looked
God,
quite
the
good
baby.
most of
CG
the time.
Baby looked better than Twilight Baby.
I thought
We upgraded
Superman
since
looked
then.
terrible. Personally, I thought Fantastic. The whole time I was watching Fantastic Four, I was like, wow, it just lit and looks amazing.
I did feel like it rested a little too on the laurels of retrofuturism and the
Well,
aesthetic.
I was about to comment on all. I disagree with everything you guys are all talking about.
Go ahead.
Almost
Go
about
ahead.
virtually everything.
Go
about
ahead.
You
this
Go
love
ahead.
crypto.
I did not.
I only like the
I
dog.
did not like crypto. But to me, you were talking about like, oh, they don't have much to change and stuff in Fantastic Four.
Mhm.
Whereas I thought that they did such a good job of setting up this neo-futuristic retro thing that the whole movie felt very light to me in a good way.
Yeah.
And it was of all these movies like Thunderbolts and stuff, or an Avengers, and even Superman, when there's little gangs of like what was it, the Justice Squad or something,
Justice Gang.
Justice Gang and stuff. Like I'm always kind of going, all right, God, I have like a million characters I got to keep up with, and
It is exhausting.
Yeah.
And sometimes
I
they
thought
do
they were
well. Like
very
I thought
funny.
Avengers was done really well. Like you're into every character, you get where their dynamics and stuff. Whereas Justice Gang, I did not really care about the Justice Gang. And
Not Mr. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific
fine.
was
Mr. Terrific
he
was
was
best character.
Best character.
MVP.
Whatever.
MVP,
but
Ryan.
the,
His jacket.
Fantastic Four, to me, the whole movie was just it was one of those movies done well where it's a team of these superheroes and it's just about them working together, and I feel like they did those scenes really well where I got where everyone was helping the situation, and
This is a bigger issue with the franchise, because I do think that if this Fantastic Four movie just dropped, I'd be like, that was fun. It was like an 3-issue arc of the comics or whatever. But it's all part of this bigger beast. We're 2 movies away from an Avengers Doomsday. And I go, you created this monster, and you have not moved anything in any meaningful direction for this larger. If I'm supposed to be excited for this thing, you're gonna have to do all the heavy lifting in these other movies.
I'm excited about the next Fantastic Four because of this movie, like where this thing goes. I thought they set it up.
But what did they set
introduced
up?
me
I
and they
guess.
set it up.
Did you see Thunderbolts?
No.
So Thunderbolts.
I also didn't. It's quite good, isn't it?
No,
You
it's
like it?
fine.
Oh,
I actually like
It's
Fantastic Four
it's
more than
good.
Thunderbolts.
Okay.
Only because Thunderbolts, it takes it like an hour and 15 minutes to get going.
And relies so much on
Um,
the charisma of Florence Pugh.
Yes. But
Oh yeah.
real quick,
Yeah.
Thunderbolts has a mid-credit scene where they're in their headquarters and then they see a screen pop on and then the Fantastic Four spaceship is flying into their solar system.
Uh-huh.
And you go, oh, that's interesting.
Oh, that's
And
huh.
so when you're watching Fantastic Four, because they're requiring these things to be viewing, it shapes everything. They
Huh.
shouldn't have done that. And it changes everything.
Oh,
Because
I
the
don't
whole time I'm watching Fantastic Four, I go, well, I guess it would make sense if they have to leave this world. But I just wanted some sort of meaningful change to happen in anything.
I
I really thought their world was going to get destroyed and they were going to have to come to
That would've been
Earth
pretty
616
cool.
or
I
whatever.
strongly thought, just based on that era of comics as well, like I've not read much Fantastic Four, but I used to love Sentry, which like has crossover, whatever. I really actually thought the teleportation thing would work and that they would swap into a multiverse.
I was
That's
excited about that.
Really what I thought was going to happen. And I suspect now that you say that, the only reason that didn't happen, and maybe that wasn't the original script, the only reason that didn't happen is because it couldn't, because they have to fly in over a spaceship. to
Maybe.
the
I don't
ocean.
know. It just feels like I didn't know what meaningfully changed in the whole Fantastic Four movie. Like they start as a family working together.
Silver Surfer has a arc. And that's why she's the only one who it makes sense to push Galactus through, because she's the only one who has any stakes.
Yeah. Oh God, it killed me that we have Reed Richards. We have this great dynamic of characters, and then it ends with them shoving Galactus. I go,
That was cool.
no, it wasn't cool to
It
me.
was cool.
To me, it wasn't cool. I'm like, they came up with this wild plan. What's the plan? Baby carrier in the center, cosmic being
That
will
cracked me
walk
up.
to grab it.
Uh-huh.
We'll do this for 2 seconds, and then we'll swap it with an empty baby carrier.
We'll shake
I
his
love
hand,
it.
full
He's
of
the
pennies.
smartest man in the world,
He's lived
and
for
that was
millenniums.
this is the stupidest planet. And then it doesn't work, and they're like, just push him. Like, and I'm like, this is not clever at all, and
So,
it was driving me crazy.
I think maybe, and this plays into one of the things that I would have maybe preferred to get out of this movie, was I didn't like these characters on a cosmic level. I actually, when the movie started out more street level and it's them doing things around the city
Kicking
to be
monkeys.
heroes, I was like, I kind of would have preferred maybe a Fantastic Four street level movie set in their world where they're utilizing their powers and cool combos and ways to do that kind of like less in,
Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man
friendly,
version.
to be their friendly neighborhood
Yeah, yeah,
Spider-Man.
yeah.
And
It's
actually
a big issue, I think, with all of these is that they all have world-ending stakes all
Yes.
the time. Bring it back a little.
bring it back a little bit. And
Bring
then
it back.
also like, because we get like this microcosm of that world, but then they kind of like lost a little bit of interest building out some of this retro futuristic city in some ways.
To me, that's what made it fun. And I agree with you that I'm so over every superhero movie ending in this big smash 'em up battle where the world's going to end from a monster or something. But
Can just the city and
But-
the whole world.
what made this one cool for me, and I cracked up when it finally happened. I guess this is was they set you up. Oh wow, we're this family and in this retro futuristic world, and oh my god, we're having a baby. It's like all these different dynamics, and then the most powerful giant being is like, give me your
I'm
baby.
hungry.
So, you were saying like, oh, there was really no stakes or challenge that they overcome. They had a god say, I will let billions of people live if you give me your baby.
Also,
and I
can
was
we
there
all
going,
be real?
okay, now these are some stakes. Let's see.
If the whole world is fucked, it's crazy that
You're like, they can make a new baby.
When Sue Storm went out there and she was like, you understand I love my baby. And the people were like, that's a good point.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
they
no.
fucking murdered
No.
them.
A mom goes,
That's
"Don't do
what the
that."
fuck's wrong with you?
It feels like stuff is missing. Like if there was a subplot, and I don't think we need to add more, but we need to get rid of stuff that doesn't matter. But if there's some sort of thing that says they weren't supposed to have this baby is an intervention on someone else's part. Also, the fact that Reed Richards, he's like, you know what? I should build a teleportation machine. Done. He can't figure out
The whole
IVF.
world worked together.
He's-
Okay.
He can't figure out IVF. Like he's like, we tried everything to have a baby, couldn't possibly do it. I'm like, you have a robot servant and a flying car, and you couldn't figure out how to have a baby. That to me says that probably there's something that's on the floor of this movie about they weren't supposed to have it. He tried everything. He's the smartest man in the world. So why?
Do you think maybe he built that ultrasound machine because he was worried the baby was going to come out half rock? And
Maybe he
was
thought it was
like-
Ben's.
he thought it was
Yeah,
Ben's?
he thought it was Ben's.
Incest?
So it just feels like there's stuff.
I think
that-
he's just a friend.
there's not even a darkness, but there's some sort of edge or roughness that's in this movie that I think would give it way more texture that they shaved away. And that's
Huh.
what kills me. I
Dude,
think
I bet that
Superman
happens
has
every time.
I think that Superman has that too. I just want to be clear that I think I'm like they're pretty close. I didn't love either of them. So, but it felt like that. And then even Galactus, they do such a great job establishing Silver Surfer comes in. She's got comets that follow her in for some reason. I don't know why, but she does that. She does this heralding stuff. She knocks away Johnny and then goes back to wherever so they build a space. Also time. I don't know if it's how long this movie could be.
How'd they get back
9
to Earth?
months.
The teleportation device thingy on the front of the spaceship broke. How did they, then they were like, we're going to slingshot. You're not interstellar. How did you get back there?
There's so much stuff that I
Doesn't
don't
make
understand
sense.
the time because I think they cut things out that would indicate the time. But either way, they build a spaceship. They go to space. They come through a thing and then they see a planet. Hey, there's a planet. Boom, eviscerated from the inside out by this giant ship.
Yeah.
You go,
Looks cool.
oh wow, this This is
What of it?
planetary threat.
Ryan's like,
no,
what
I'm
of
like,
it?
I'm on board. I'm like, this is planetary threat. When the threat comes to them, Galactus is like, better get out of the ship, jump into the city, and walk to the fucking center of town like he's the
in his
Stay
defense,
Puft
it's because he
Marshmallow.
doesn't care about the planet. He just wants to eat the
Well, he
baby.
gave them a deal. He's like, meet me here for the baby. We're giving you the baby. Deal.
Can we also talk about his goofy jump, dunks his whole ass head in the water?
Yeah,
What
he,
is
he
what
misses
was
the fucking
that?
edge of the island. It's just,
He wanted to
it's just like
slam.
huge planet destroying. But when it's inconvenient, he's just a tall guy who walks through a city.
Now that kind of thing, you know, it's a superhero movie. I didn't really think twice about.
I just-
most of
You,
that
you
stuff
do have
that
to
you just
turn your
said.
brain off.
The-
for a
All
lot
things
of these.
considered, a fun movie.
I
They're
had a
both
blast.
very fun. They're both very fun.
I thought it was a perfect mix of the little familial family drama and dynamics mixed with this world-ending
What was
cosmic
the
crazy
family
thing.
drama? What did you see as family drama?
It's him and Sue having a baby, and then oh my god, they're new parents, but they have this, the whole weight of the world is now on their first kid and stuff. So it's like,
yeah, sure.
like, oh my god, what are we gonna do? And then their two best friends are a part of it too. And
Well,
you
that's
know,
why I
The
thought
two best friends are also there.
they're also there, and they're
It
the
is it.
uncle, the nephews, or
the
whatever.
whole thing though is it's like we come into it with like a status. Even Mole Man,
I love
like,
Mole Man.
they established right from the outset that like, nah, Sue figured out stuff with Mole Man before the movie began.
She's a
There
diplomatic
was a
hero.
Mole Man thing. We figured out the Mole Man stuff. Don't even worry about the Mole Man
She's
stuff.
smart.
Yeah, that's all great. But that means that when they invite Mole Man and they say, hey, can we have people go down there? Yeah, why not? It's a diplomatic thing. If the movie started and they go, we're dealing with this Mole Man guy, and part of it was them putting aside their differences and then he's going, I'm willing to help, right? Like if there's a meaningful change, but we established in a world where there's diplomatic relations with Mole Man, it's just nothing changes. I don't think this is intentional at all, but it's something I started picking up on. And it's not even really a true criticism of it because I think it's just my brain canon. But there's some really interesting chosen by God themes in this movie.
Okay.
These are just 4 astronauts who went into space and came back and now dictate global policy and live in a skyscraper. They're not elected officials, yet they are involved in government. They go into space. They're able to make
They're protectors.
choices for the fate of the planet on everyone else's behalf. And that's never even really addressed in this movie. Like
Yeah, it's true.
17 people come to their tower and they're upset and they're like, kill the baby, which I'm like, why would you even mention the baby? Why would you even mention this?
So you think Superman violated the laws of international airspace then?
I think both of them
Right.
tackle similar
But
issues.
Superman addresses it.
And then
Addresses
but
it.
Superman
That's what I'm saying. But I'm
actually
saying
does
James is on the bad side.
address. What do you mean?
You're the bad guy. You say Superman shouldn't be able to fly wherever he wants.
No, I do, but I think at least Superman, when in the making of that, realizes like, I guess there should be some sort of issue with this one guy taking this into his
Yeah.
own hands. I don't know that it fully explores it, but at least it acknowledges
mentions
this.
it, yeah.
Fantastic Four is just like there's 4 people. Us here, we're doing this podcast in our lives. You know, there's 4 people
Wait.
that live in a tower that are magic.
Are we the Fantastic
And-
Four?
No,
I think we
we're
might
the
be.
opposite.
Am
of
I the brick?
Fantastic Four.
That's what I was going to say. Am I the thing?
And something's coming
I'm
to
the
blow
fire
up
guy.
Earth, and we just have to sit and wait to see what they decide to do about that. Is like such an interesting question to ask.
Well, that's
in
why
a movie.
Civil War, like, I loved that
Yes.
comic series, is so fucking interesting. The whole thing is like, should they be registered? What does it mean if the government instead controls them? Like, it's so interesting.
Well,
But
Ca-
it's shaved down, and then
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just
I
like-
think I actually, like, especially hearing the thing you said about Thunderbolts, more firmly believe now that this movie probably originally looked extremely different and had to be shaved down to fit in the franchise, probably.
I think, yeah.
I feel like sure, that's an interesting question for a superhero, but I feel like it's been done before on other Superman movies, Watchmen, other.
No, yeah, I
you
agree.
know.
I
Yeah.
agree that the subversion of the trope is now a trope itself. But I think the reason the subversion happened is because people realized they weren't really telling stories. It was just things. It's just things. It's just, okay, the Avenger, we know Fantastic Four. They did this, and this week they're taking on Galactus. And by the end of 16 pages, Galactus has to be gone, and they have to be going back to their lives. And I think that's fine, except that we're setting up other movies. They're asking us to be invested in this whole franchise, this cinematic universe. This is their fault. I'm blaming them. So it's fine to like it and everything, but I just don't know. I thought maybe, okay, the teleporter stuff failed, so maybe, and it didn't work on Galactus. Our plan was stupid. Maybe the only way is for us to leave. And so their perfect little retro futuristic world, they're going to have to leave behind and enter a different world. I was like, there has to be something that changes. But like literally at the end, they're like, whew, we did it. Thank goodness. And then it goes fade to black 4 years later, and then something meaningful
Is it a crime
happens.
to be a good team?
And best
They're
friends.
the Fantastic Four, James.
I just at the end of it, I was like, what changed? I don't really know what meaningfully changed in this movie.
It was a solid, like you said, 3-issue comic.
It's a slice of life in the
slice of
Fantastic
life,
Four.
and I appreciated that.
They didn't take their first steps.
Nobody
Nothing
took a first step.
first stepped in this thing.
It's pretty egregious that there wasn't even the first
No
steps
first
of the baby
steps.
Yeah, that is funny.
in the first
I
steps
did
of the
like.
movie.
Yeah, again, I didn't know the kids' powers from the comics, which I felt I was very actively interested. And then when he brings his mother back to life, I was like, oh shit, I can see how that would satiate the hunger of a world-destroying god. That's really interesting. Like that whole, it's such a weird one to be so interested in the plot and find everything else just whatever. Who gives a shit? It's
What are
fine,
the
don't worry
extent
about
of the
it.
baby's powers?
He's one of the like top 5 most powerful in the entire Marvel universe, and
Hell
it's
yeah.
basically he can change reality to whatever he wants.
Is
So if
he-
he wants something to happen, he can just make it happen.
More powerful than Scarlet Witch?
Yes,
Yeah.
he's the only one that's stronger is the one above all, which
Jeremy
is like
Renner.
this
Yeah,
this
Hawkeye.
like Marvel meta sort of thing that is the one above all is basically like the god of the Marvel universe, but the suggestion is like that the writers and the readers are the one above all, so it's sort of this weird meta thing. But like stronger than Sentry. Like he I don't remember one of them's just a fucking guy.
Nate Summers. Is it like-
I think Nate Summers might also be one of the 5. They're like called like above Omni or something. There's
Omega
5 of them.
Mutants, and then I
They're
know there's
above
the tier
Omega, I
above
think.
that,
Yeah. And I
Oh,
think Nathan Summers
wow.
is one of them too.
Interesting.
So they introduced some heavy firepower.
Well,
Yeah, but the interesting thing about him is he's always a kid. So
Yeah.
no matter what his powers, he never really is able to control them, which I think is very
Oh.
interesting.
I feel like we're picking on Fantastic Four, and I also want to pick on Superman, but I also want to say that there are some great sequences, like the space escape was awesome.
You're
And
gonna
them
get,
all-
you're gonna
like-
give birth to a baby
The
in space
laser
and not
scene,
have
giving
gunk
birth.
be everywhere.
Yeah.
It's perfectly clean.
Yeah, yeah.
Where's the
They're like,
placenta?
Ben,
Give us the space placenta.
Ben, go bite
yeah,
the
bite the umbilical cord. I was like, what is
Um,
Thing doing
but-
cutting the umbilical cord?
But I do think that if you have a hero that can use their powers to a point that it will kill them, you should establish that.
What do you
Her
mean?
shoving Galactus so much that she dies, you should address that earlier in the film.
Yeah, I probably
Don't
agree
do
with
it so much, Sue. You know how tired you get. One line, boom, resolved. The fact that she just does that, which I know Invisible Woman's powers are not to go invisible. She manipulates fucking bubbles of molecules and stuff, but she really doesn't go invisible that much. She uses it like 2 times, once to avoid a senator in her little diplomatic town hall or
Which was
whatever,
cool.
which was fine. And then another time with the
Minefield.
spaceship. What?
in the asteroid minefield.
Yeah, or whatever. But she doesn't use it when she's driving the car that flies through Galactus's legs.
I thought that she did. I thought that Galactus did swipe the.
But she's just driving. She's number one, it's a flying car. I'm like, why are you going through his legs? And number 2, you're not invisible while you're doing any of this. So there are a couple things I'm like, this is so like you could have taken 2 more seconds to think about how to make this be done more creatively.
It's going to be an interesting challenge about writing those movies is like thinking about the full extent of the powers and the limits that they need to
Yeah.
have to tell a good story. Like that's got to be pretty hard to do.
Yeah.
And for a team, like how they work in concert together, which I would have appreciated a little bit more of
Would have loved to see that.
them interacting with their powers a
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah, everyone's just kind of like, Johnny,
Yeah.
fire.
Yeah,
There's more
fire guy.
stuff in that opening ABC documentary that I was like, oh, this is really cool how they work together.
Yeah.
Because like Mr. Fantastic basically just grappling hooks, right? He just uses it to swing along
That was
rooftops.
cool when he almost got stretched out and broken.
Sure, but
Stretch
that's not
Armstrong.
like a showcase of his powers.
Yeah.
That's just them wanting to do something violent that they can still get the PG-13 with, right? Ben Grimm, I think, tries to throw a crane at him once, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. And then Johnny shoots fire into his eyes.
Well, the thing goes through those columns to break the building
Yeah.
down.
He does.
that was
That,
cool.
that
Yeah.
shit was
Yeah,
cool.
that was cool.
Yeah. And then even when like thing gets launched and then Johnny catches them and they come in and do like this twofer thing, I'm like, that was cool. But then they both just hit the ground. And I'm like, I wanted to
clobbered
like see something fun there.
I hated all the clobbering time jokes. I thought that was so silly. I
That was
actually,
his that was his big
yeah.
stakes. You know, it's like everyone's making fun of him, or not making fun of him. They think he's something he's not.
still didn't want to do it. That actually, I wonder if I had a weird theater, but nobody laughed during Fantastic Four at
Yeah, that was kind of our experience.
We saw it at a pretty nice theater, and with IMAX.
which I heard is amazing for that movie specifically.
Yeah, I mean,
Dolby
it looked fine.
Atmos is what I saw it in, and it fucking rocks.
So this is the thing though. I still couldn't hear dialogue.
Huh.
This is a problem, guys. Because Christopher Nolan told me I was the problem and he was mixing his movies for theaters. But I saw this movie in a theater and there was one moment, at some point they're in the Galactus's spaceship and then Johnny and Thing are talking to each other. Johnny and Ben. Sorry, Ben. Johnny and Ben are talking to each other and then it has the cadence of a quip. Johnny says something and then it holds for laughs and then he zips off. Couldn't hear a word of what he said over the sound of the molten lava and the noise of the space, and the whole theater was silent.
The only movie I've seen in a theater in the last 10 years that I've understood what everyone said was Conclave.
Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
this is just a general note. We got to figure out how to mix these
I
movies
do
better.
think there are some theaters in LA that are like actively bad about that, which is crazy because it's LA. But there are theaters here that I'm like, the sound mix is fucking terrible.
Yeah, but I don't know. Anyway, so Superman. Back
Yeah,
to
let's shit
Superman.
on Superman.
We can shit on
Yeah,
Superman.
what did you hate about Superman?
Well, I needlessly complicated. Plot.
I agree.
But then I appreciate the themes and stuff that I was trying to tackle, and I thought that in concept, I hypothetically like the his whole kindness arc, or if you want to call it that, or theme and stuff. I just thought by the end I was kind of cheesy and didn't like you were saying, he didn't really grow with the Superman of all the characters, was just kind of one note, I felt like.
Yeah.
And then I thought
Even his Clark Kent is not that.
yeah, they're not.
unique.
Yeah, obviously everyone has stuff that they want to see in their Superman movie. I tried not to have any expectations, but yeah, I wish there was more Clark Kent. I wish there was less Crypto. I was sick of him by the end of it, or I was sick of him by the beginning of it. Actually, like just the first scene where, I was like, okay, shit, how much Crypto are we gonna do? And then your whole thing about yeah, so needlessly complicated. I thought it looked terrible. Like we were talking about. Like by the end, it just for spending $300 million in this movie, and then it just looks like a CGI
A
slap
lot of
fest.
CG.
Did you like
know.
Mr. Terrific? Or no, wait, Mr.
He was fine.
Yeah.
He was okay. Yeah, I kind of didn't love the Justice Gang or whatever, but it was so.
I actually really like in this particular movie in Superman that like there'll be fights outside and Lois is like, "You gonna get that?" He's like, "I'm fine." I like that it establishes that there are other heroes around.
Yeah.
He's like, "I don't have to do all of it."
I
It's
thought that
fine."
was really fun.
I thought the scene where Lois Lane interviews Superman
Best scene in the film.
Well, in Superman the movie, I thought was done way better, like the Christopher Reeves
Oh.
one. Whereas this one, I was like, okay.
I still think Christopher Reeve is the
It was-
best Superman.
I also
imagine.
thought that scene was really good. They're having like an actual conversation.
Yeah.
And there's stakes and there's conflict. Like it was really well written.
I thought it was a really good scene.
Sure, yeah, but I don't know.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry. I was gonna say, men real toxic in that movie though.
Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, well,
I
Superman
was
too.
so
Sure.
upset with
Clark,
how he treated that woman that whole
don't-
movie.
The movie didn't seem fully aware of how toxic some of the men were in this movie.
And again, they're all dumb too.
Which is a
because
red flag.
everyone's- All the men are stupid.
yeah,
The women are kind of smarter, even when they're pretending to be dumb. Like,
but
it's
still, like in a weird, like made me the first time we see Lois and Clark interact together. She comes home and he's like, "It's our 3-month anniversary, and I made your favorite meal.
I broke into your house.
I
to make your favorite meal.
I made your favorite meal, breakfast for dinner." And she's like, "That's your favorite meal," and he doesn't know that. And I'm like, "That's like the biggest red flag. Like that's a psychotic, narcissistic behavior that you like."
I'm laughing because, like, somewhat often Rob will be like, "I got you a gift," and it's actually a gift for him. But like, so he got me a PlayStation, the PlayStation Pro controller, like the DualSense Pro, and I was like, "Is this for me or is this for you?" And he was like, "It's for you," and I haven't used it.
I think we
But
can
if it's the kind of thing
we
where-
can occasionally do that a little bit for each other. A little bit.
Well, but I
This
think it's
present-
different if it's cheeky, and he's not cheeky. He's like, "What?" Like he's unaware.
Yeah, I wonder
he
why
made
they did
his
that.
favorite thing for her, to celebrate
dick.
them being together.
I
And
wonder
I'm like,
why that choice
red
was there.
flag, man. And then that combined with the Jimmy Olsen stuff, where Jimmy Olsen is like, "I got this beautiful woman who'll do anything for me, and she's putting her life on the line." And she's like, "Can we hang out for 5 minutes?" And he's like, "This bitch." And I'm like, "You suck, dude." This is not, I'm not finding this comedic necessarily.
No.
There's a way to play that up, like, "Oh, she's obsessed and I like don't want to lead her on." But he's not like that at all. And I'm
No,
like,
he just hates her.
I was like, it made me kind of question James Gunn and his relationship.
Mr. Terrific,
potentially.
the only good man in this movie.
Mr. Terrific was great. My issues were I didn't feel like Lois had anything really to do. She was a support. She was someone for Superman to talk to. One of my favorite scenes is when they were fighting that floating thing, like the Justice
Galactic
Gang
Beast or
are
whatever,
fighting
yeah.
the floating thing, and he and Lois are having this really serious conversation, and all of that's happening in the background. He's like, "It's just one of those. It's an imp. It's not a big deal. They'll handle it." I was like, that feels really fun.
And when he's kissing her and they're floating, it's really hot.
Sure. But I felt like then they were
He's
like,
very handsome.
she
very
can't
handsome
just
Superman.
be there for him, so she has to do something too. But Mr. Terrific goes to the base. She's just the point of view to watch him do all kinds of awesome stuff. And then she just like stands there in the tube when he's trying to send
She
his
is
stuff.
just a human.
Yeah, I know, but she's just present for a lot of stuff. And then she's
Yeah.
like, "I'm going to take the spaceship and I'm going to go above the city and just kind of watch."
She's going to
everything
tell this.
unfold."
She's going to go back and she's going to report. She's an observer.
I know there's a certain thing about
Who
the
has a better
power of
story than Lois
journalism,
Lane?
But like, I think there's too. Ryan said there's too much. I think there's too many characters. I think there's too many plots.
Yeah.
I think
I thought Nathan Fillion as Hal Jordan was great.
well,
Yeah, I
he's,
like-
he's,
Oh, wait, not
he was
Hal
Guy
Jordan.
Gardner.
Guy Gardner, yeah.
I thought he was. This is what James Gunn does. He takes these little bits and things that no one would ever think would be cool, and he makes them cool and fun.
Mhm.
But there's just a lot in this movie. There's a lot of them in this movie.
I didn't think it was cool or fun, really.
Okay, all right.
At all. I didn't believe that Superman could fly by the end of this, and the Superman in the movie.
What do you mean you didn't believe?
I believed a man could fly, James, when I saw the.
Okay,
that was
you
in the
just-
trailer,
yeah,
the
yeah.
original. The thing I liked the most about this movie was the team of monkeys that were
The trolls?
Some
I-
people
Troll
hated
farm?
that. I thought it was fun.
I
I
thought that was
cackled.
great.
I
Yeah.
was dying laughing. James emotionless.
writing
Yeah.
bad reviews.
I thought that was
That
such
was
a
legit
good,
really
such
funny.
a good joke.
Yeah,
I was
awesome.
dying.
yeah.
That was my favorite part of the movie. I thought that part was cool. But yeah, everything else was pretty lame to me. And
Yeah.
then
What were your biggest beefs?
Well, I've said most of them. They're very broad, but and then you had said that you liked how they changed kind of the origin story.
Yeah. His parents. I liked it.
Yeah, and explain that part again. What you your point?
Because you liked how
To
stupid
Bradley
they
Cooper,
were.
Oh.
because the transmission was not fully there.
Yeah.
Right?
The reason I liked it is that conceptually, even though I don't think the movie
Oh,
really
you're talking about
did this.
the Kryptonian parents.
Yeah,
not
Oh,
his-
I thought you were talking about
no, Kryptonian parents.
Oh,
I didn't like stupid kids.
Stupid
Got it. Okay.
Who are like basically not there. Oh, how funny.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting too. Like one thing, there were those news stories about how before the movie came out, where it's like James Gunn was like saying like this is the ultimate immigrant story, Superman,
Mm-hmm.
and I wish there was more of that.
I think that was the media taking a quote
I agree with
and
you.
pushing the shit out of it
Yeah,
for controversy. I think he answered one question It was like, well, Superman's an immigrant, and everyone made it. It's an immigrant. I don't think he meant to do that.
I know what you mean. All I'm saying is that in terms of my expectations going in, I was just kind of like, oh, that actually sounded like a cool idea, cool take on the character, and not to get all boomery and stuff on you guys, but
here we go.
They take the fucking America out of my Superman, and I thought that was a missed opportunity.
They took the American out of the Superman?
Superman's about truth and justice in the fucking American way, Alon. I don't know if you know about that,
It's
being
maybe
from
a
Australia.
little hard to do that right now.
See, well, that's the thing. I think that it now would be the perfect time to tackle it from a. You don't have to do it like, oh, he's this jingoistic, nationalistic thing. You could get into that about like, well, no one likes America or whatever. And then, but he was raised on it. So it's to me, it's an interesting thing from an immigrant telling this immigrant story of an alien coming from another planet. He's raised in Kansas and Middle America with all of those values and everything. And then how does nature versus nurture?
That is the point
extreme.
of the movie, though.
I think that's touched on.
That's
right, but it's kind of
across,
but it's more like about Earth. You know what I mean? It's just like Earth is about humans, kindness,
Humanity at large. You wanted it to be more specific to the American.
Not on anywhere on Earth. America, in Kansas, in middle of America. And how does that change?
Have you ever read Superman Red Sun?
No, I haven't.
It presupposes that Superman landed in Russia instead of the U.S. He's powered by the red sun. Okay. You might find it interesting, but you probably would hate it given everything you're saying.
It's not the American part. It's just that
I think
it's interesting.
The theme of especially when so many things are wrong with the world, just be the kindest person that you can is actually one of my favorite things about the movie. And I said, like, you got two immigrants here. I
walked away feeling really happy with the messaging this movie was trying to say.
I in theory, like I said, I think it's okay. I just think it's not that interesting. It kind of just has like a school rock vibe. What's the Schoolhouse Rock?
Yeah.
Okay, wow, that was like a nice episode of Sesame Street.
I feel like they could have gone way harder on that point. So they went way harder on basically Netanyahu than I ever would have expected.
The character is way more interesting if he assumes kind of like if he acclimates to the place he was born in, and then you get into you can get into a larger political conversation.
That's a whole different movie, though.
Yeah, I might have.
Well, that's the Superman used to be punching Nazis and shit. You know,
like, I mean, an interesting, maybe different movie would be Superman saying, "What has happened to this? Like, aren't there ideals that we should all be standing for?"
That's kind of where I was going. Is that'd be an interesting conversation too. Yeah. It's like,
especially relevant right now.
I'm an alien. I was crash landed on this amazing country. What have we done to ourselves?
It hit me really.
What is America?
Yeah, it hit me really hard in that scene when the kids. What is the fake country?
It's like Monrovia.
Zanzibar.
Let's say Baravia. Baravia?
He's the hammer. I'm the hammer of Markovia
or whatever. Well, let's like the oppressed country when they're fighting back and the kids are waving the banners for Superman. I'm getting like goosebumps now. The kids are waving banners for Superman, expecting him to come, and he's not coming. I like. It got me. Like, James Gunn got me in that. I was like, man, like, there are kids right now that are in war that, like, nobody's coming for them.
True. And I did appreciate the scale of this movie and the commercial appeal of it. Actually, even acknowledging any of that is, I think, really ballsy. Like, that doesn't really happen ever. And that's a huge risk. And I think James Gunn is very uniquely positioned to be able to do that. Like, no one else can. He's so not only writer director, but also like head of fucking DCU that like he's kind of the only one who can get away with it. I'm like, damn, dude, you did that shit. That's crazy. Like,
okay, well, Batman v Superman. Jimmy Olsen was shot by a bullet that they said came from Superman. So I would say the political landscape and that was pretty complex too.
Yeah, I didn't see Superman's gun.
I want to say to Ryan's thing though, I think the issue is that it's in there along with a lot of other things.
It's a lot going on.
The movie asks a lot of questions and tries to seek a lot of answers. And that was one of my issues with the movie is at the end of it, I was like, okay, like be kind, but then also like let people live. Journalism is important. Like there's so many things that you can pull out of it that I don't know that like maybe 2 should have gotten picked.
I agree.
Like maybe you should pick 2 and then explore those fully.
Punk rock is seeing the beauty in things.
Well, punk rock is like anti whatever's in, and if being shitty is in, then being kind is punk rock. I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
It's counterculture.
Yeah, it's counterculture, and unfortunately, the culture is mean, right? So I completely understand that. I just think, to Ryan's point, there's a lot in it, and by the end of it, I was pretty overwhelmed, and it still ends with punching, and solving the issues through punching. I just thought that, for better or for worse, James Gunn has a vision, has like a style and a vision for things and a way he sells stuff to you. And I liked it in this movie more than, say, Fantastic Four had it for me, right? Like, I don't know.
You know what I appreciate? I think that they're both really different. Like, that's two back-to-back really high-budget
Yeah, one
superhero
of them's
movies.
good, one of them's bad. I know, pretty
I
different.
I thought they both looked good, though. I thought Superman maybe has too much of the high dynamic range, crazy contrast. Like, it's saturated. And Fantastic Four had this cool veneer that was in it, but I didn't find it meaningful to the story. Like, okay, so his chalkboards are ovals. Cool. I'm like, that's cool. I mean, it's cool to look at, but like, I could just, like, why is it an oval?
To me, it just looks so cinematic and, like I said, well lit and stuff. Where I kept almost every shot in Fantastic Four, I was going like, wow, like I really feel like is it the way the film grain or something? Like, I felt like I was in the thing. Whereas Superman looks like a lot of the Marvel movies, just these super color candy roller coaster style that I don't like anymore. And then to what you're saying about it being too bloated and stuff, like, that really can fuck up. Like, I will never think about this Superman movie again. Like, just like it's, when I think about it, it's just, wow, yeah, a menagerie of a lot of different themes and stuff. Some good scenes, but it does not work as a whole, I feel like. Whereas,
have you ever thought about, like, outside of The Dark Knight, I don't know that I've ever thought about a single superhero movie for very long. And Logan.
Dark Knight is a perfect example. That one, to me, feels like a fucking
because they're not
movie.
superhero genre. Logan and Dark Knight are not superhero movies.
Yeah, they are.
Genre, like in terms of like the packaging of what that genre of film means. Like, on paper, it's Batman, but you know what I mean? Like, there's a style to a superhero movie at this point that I think neither of those movies abide by.
Well,
but those are the only two I ever think about.
I think the best version of what the Superman movie is to me is Guardians of the Galaxy by James Gunn. It just is,
those movies get me.
The
for
pop
sure.
culture, just it's fun. It's trying to
but
be
they're
fun.
also really
it looks
heartfelt.
good. It's heartfelt, but it has a to me pretty concise and simpler story, and is not jam packed with as many things as this Superman.
Superman has a lot going on.
Guardians of the Galaxy 1, they didn't know if it was going to work, which is why they set it in a universe like 1,000 light years away. So that way, if it failed, it wouldn't. And that's the issue, is all this stuff, we're in the thick of it.
Again, everything's
These are
world-ending
the
stakes all the
first
time.
steps, Ryan. These are the first steps. And
Maybe
same
they
with
were
Superman.
Galactus's first steps, because we see him sitting
He does
for that
do a lot
whole
of
movie
sitting.
until he
That's
does
his
goofy
was the
jump
first step.
before.
And he does trip
falls
and fall
into-
right into the
He doesn't know
water.
how to walk.
So I
Oh my
guess
God, we
it's
figured it out.
Galactus's first
That's
steps.
it.
But
Huge,
I think
huge.
Superman has the same issue too. Superman has to kick off a bunch. They have to establish threads because now the Justice Gang, there's a Green Lantern show that's coming down the pipe, and they're going to do all this. They have to set up these things, whereas Batman Begins or Dark Knight, or they just told one story.
Yeah.
They just told
And
one
the world-ending
thing.
stakes are just a nuke in that city.
And
It's
I
not the
wish
whole
we
world.
could just
Yeah.
do that. I
It's
wish
so
we could have
nice.
a bunch of shit that was just all over the place. X-Men United. I know Elyse wants me to mention Last Stand, so I'll toss it in there for Elyse. Those are clear, coherent movies. They just told the one story.
Yeah.
I mean, and then even with that, we found ways to add Logan into the mix.
Well, even like
Deadpool,
Days of
Wolverine.
Future Past having broader like time travel
Like,
implications and stuff.
They
but-
figured things out in comic booky ways, but those
Yeah.
movies started out as like, what are we going to tell? What is the story of the X-Men? What is Cyclops going to do this time? Or what is Wolverine? If Wolverine's our point of view, how does he change? Oh, he's a loner. Now he's got a team. There's just these things aren't happening because we're seeing slivers as part of this grander cinematic universe.
But they have to get over that and know that the whole phase 2 or 3 or whatever the fuck we're in at the MCU.
we're in
everyone,
6, I believe.
everyone talks about
Crazy.
Or
superhero
5, maybe
fatigue,
5.
and it has to be because of that. Like what you're saying.
Except these movies are still making $500 million.
They're not making as
They're
much
not making
money.
as much money though.
Because
as
of
they would.
China, though.
You always say that.
I mean, but it is true. Like Superman, this Superman is doing better than Man of Steel did.
Yeah, it's
And
isn't it the
Fantastic
highest grossing?
Four is like currently on track to be the most successful Marvel movie since
Really?
for a long
And
time.
I think that the lesson for that is
Jurassic
that,
World Rebirth is, I think, one of the biggest Jurassic Park franchise
What do you think the
openings.
lesson
well,
is?
the big dinosaur movies play internationally.
But
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if they're good or bad, I
Gojira.
guess.
Well, because Fantastic Four just felt like it didn't feel like it was just this little cog in a machine trying to make the next Avengers movie. To me, it felt like, oh wow, this is a movie that stands alone that also maybe happens to be a part of the a cog in the machine. Whereas, yeah, like the Superman one just felt like they're just setting up a bunch of stuff, and same with a lot of these other ones.
I agree.
They just got to get over it cannot feel like just a small part of a bigger movie. It has to feel like one movie.
I think that
That
what
kinda
we're
stands
asking
alone.
for is impossible at the way these have to function.
Credit sequences. All you got to do is just have the one little part that makes it connect in the credit sequence. We're all
No,
trained to
I don't
watch
think
the
so.
credits.
The
Just
number
do
of
it
people
way.
that gasp.
That's why we aren't part of the MCU or DCU production teams, though. I think that
Yeah.
like they can't. Like I'd love that. I think they're just at a point now where they're like, it's so much like you have to have a certain amount of characters because we're trying to sell a certain amount of merch and a certain amount of toys that have to change every fucking time so we can sell more fucking toys.
But
You have to set up all
they
these
won't be
characters.
selling the merch because no one's going to be going to the movies because they're all sick of all
But
of
they
that
are.
They
stuff.
are going to the movie.
That's
Not
They're
as
making
much.
so
They're
much
making
money.
they're making hundreds of millions of dollars less.
Yeah, I know. but
Again, I
there's-
think Superman's the highest grossing Superman movie of all time.
they're making
yeah, well,
that's the
less,
thing.
but they're still making a shit ton. That's the problem.
I just mean
So they'll
that-
just keep firing artists, and then they'll be like, we made 150 million less than last time. We better fire or underpay all the visual effects artists who killed themselves to make this, and then that'll keep going. Just keep going.
Yeah.
So the people deciding that this is the path forward will never fire themselves, and
Yeah.
then they will reap
well,
most of the
to
profit.
me, Fantastic Four is proof that they have learned the lesson that they can't just be servicing their most loyal fans that see every one of these things and all the TV shows and stuff. They have to make it for people like myself who go to, 1 out of every 10 Marvel movie now.
They're making it for Mom and Pa Kent.
Yeah,
How cute is this?
How do I get there? I can't get my ticket to show up on the
I
app.
got a Fandango or
How do I
AMC
get it,
stub,
Clark?
My MC Stub barcode. Come on.
No, I do think you're right though.
Well-
There's a certain accessibility
Yeah.
to the people that aren't making a movie podcast because they scrutinize everything like assholes.
Yeah.
If I
Yeah.
didn't love movies, I wouldn't talk about them at all. So I want to ask you, how do you feel about Robert Downey Jr. as Dr. Doom now that you've seen Fantastic Four?
It could just be a
But
cover.
If it's not, say it isn't.
It could be Doctor Doom pretending to be Iron Man.
Oh, I think it's totally just parallel universe where things turned out differently.
But do you think that Robert Downey Jr. will make a good Dr. Doom from what
I
you've
don't
seen?
know anything about Doctor Doom.
I like Doctor Doom a lot. I think he'll be just fine. Yeah.
All I
Robert
know
Downey
is that
Jr. as Dr.
Yeah, I
Doom?
think he'll be fine.
Interesting.
in the board game I played with Hunter, Heroescape, Doctor Doom was by far the most powerful
He's very
character.
powerful.
And so for that, I'm excited to see what happens.
As long
Okay.
as, yeah, I mean, he just has to be really distinctly different from Iron Man, right? Like, and I feel like he's a great actor. Yeah, I think he'll be fine.
My
I don't
only-
think I'll watch any of it.
My only issue is that I feel like if there's one thing I will always praise about the Marvel team is their casting. I think
Yeah.
I had no issues with this cast, really, in Fantastic Four.
I like
And I feel like even when the movies are bad
Casting.
and I don't like them, I go, oh, those cast, they had fun together, there's a dynamic there. Or I can't believe that I care about Red Guardian. Like there's
Yeah.
these things that happen in it that I'm like, oh, this is really good. My thing is I go, but Robert Downey Jr. already was in your movies. I
Yeah.
want to see who you can find who would be a better Dr. Doom.
I think that was a money-making play,
yeah.
first and foremost. I do not think this Fantastic Four cast like each other. And I didn't feel it.
Really?
Yeah.
In real life?
Some of the interviews, dude, it's crazy.
Huh.
I do not think they like each other.
Interesting.
It's
I guess I
wild.
haven't watched enough of them to know, like, what is it? Are they just standoffish to each other?
No, there's some like weird looks and comments and
Oh.
stuff. Yeah.
Fun fact, I about 15 years ago went to the casting director for Superman's backyard to film a short film.
You're like a Mexican commercial.
John Papsadera he has like a tiki lounge and bar in his. I can give you the whole
Cool.
architectural layout from my memory from when I was a PA on this short film.
What was he like?
He was just he's just kind of like this lazy guy going, yeah, just here's the keys to the back house. I'll come out when you need me.
Oh.
They were just renting his house.
Oh, I see. He wasn't
Yeah.
involved with
He
the
wasn't
production
involved.
in any way.
Yeah.
Cool.
But I saw his name come up, and I always, whenever I see it, I'm like, oh, dude, that's the guy. I was in his backyard. I pissed in his like
In his hydrangeas.
His what? His what? The rest of that sentence is very
in his
important.
bathroom.
Oh, okay.
I don't know why I remember that, but I just
But
like,
it's water bottle.
if you're,
Yeah. You could have been Lex Luthor.
Like I said, Taverin. We've been over Ryan's involved in everything.
yeah.
Anyone have anything else to say about either of these two films?
America
I
fucking rocks, man. Can't we all
Okay.
just give it for, up
All
for
right.
America?
That's like
they
your
take him out of
opinion.
our Superman.
all right.
We're all
That's
pissed
like,
about that, right?
nope.
Yeah.
Don't care.
All
right.
Nope.
America.
I can't think of anything else. Yeah.
I want to say that I do think that we're headed in a better direction. I do think that as much as I have
an
notes
upswing.
for both of these movies, I'm like,
Yeah.
let's keep going. Let's keep going in this direction because I think we will get big movies that are good and have good characters in them. We're on an upswing as opposed to, I feel like not too long ago, like the Marvels and stuff. I was like, oh my God, just end it. Like just kill everything. There's no point. So
Yeah, I agree. The last one that I'd seen in theaters, I don't think I've seen any in theaters since Endgame.
Mm.
And I'm back in for some reason. So maybe, and it seems like a lot of people are, I guess. So maybe it's either that the fatigue is over, but that doesn't really make sense, or there's a new direction that people are subconsciously noticing something.
If the movies are good, they will come. Okay? Field of Dreams. It'll happen.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel about Fantastic Four. And I fully prepared to come into this podcast and be like, well, this is going to be boring. We're all obviously going to agree that Fantastic Four
I actually think
rocked
that means we have
and
a good
Superman
podcast because
was
people just
lame.
agreeing for an hour sucks. And
Well,
we disagree almost every time.
Ultimately, I'm glad that this happened, but I was surprised. All I'm saying is that I don't know how we saw such different films for both of them. You know, I thought Fantastic Four was clearly a cooler and better movie in every way.
Yeah.
Superman was just kind of a bloated mess.
Well, I wouldn't say blurred. I would say that these are both movies that are fun, but on a granular level, there are things that you can take out of them and say that could be different or
I have
better.
to turn my brain off to watch
Yes.
movies like this, and I'm fine with it. I just go, don't worry about it. It's fine.
Yeah.
It is the roller coaster ride, and I'm okay with that.
Well, like we said, yeah, I am fine with turning my brain off, but I also just like I wish I didn't. I wish I want to think about a Superman movie again. Like I said, I'm never going to.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four, I will think about it again because I thought it was cool.
Mhm. Will they go into the Earth, whatever, 818, 616, whatever dimension?
818.
I don't know what it is.
616.
Whatever dimension. Are they going to transfer into our dimension for Avengers Doomsday? And will they immediately remove all their cool outfits and replace them with tack vests?
Yes.
Because that's what I think is going to happen.
Or they'll get a less stylized version
It's going
of
to
their
be,
outfits.
they're going to be like, well, it's good, so long to the colors.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
And again, I really thought that the trajectory of this movie was going to be their planet gets destroyed, they escape to
Yeah.
Earth
And they go, why is it so
But
drab
their stakes
here?
are too big because they would be to blame.
because they save baby.
They say baby. And I feel like Marvel can't have their heroes kill a planet of billions
Well,
of
but I
people.
thought that they were going to have to leave. That, like, basically they
But
have to
Galactus
take,
would be in pursuit of them.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're running from Galactus.
They're luring him.
So they say,
away.
we will sacrifice. This is our paradise.
Mm.
We're essentially living in this paradise where you treat us like gods. But we benevolently will leave our paradise
Mhm.
to go out into this unknown place to protect all of you.
Take the
is
first
what I
steps.
thought the first steps. The choice that I thought was going to be made at the end of this. And then ultimately it's not. They're like, no, we pushed him.
Again, it may have been like I said, I thought they were gonna dimension swap. That's completely.
Yeah.
I thought that it was gonna work, but it wasn't gonna move them to a new location.
Yeah.
It was gonna move them to a different dimension.
Yeah.
Like, they fully thought that.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it's probably different originally.
But I know I'm overthinking it. I just really like plot.
I suppose I'm just worried in the grander scheme of things what the next kind of narrative focus will be over, because it used to be like everything was time travel. Everything was time travel. And now we're multiverse. And I'm like, what's the next frontier
Yeah, it's true.
beyond this? Where do we go?
I don't know.
Don't know.
Gotta
But
be
I-
something. I think once a franchise exists for a certain amount of time, it has to do multiverse, and it ultimately has no choice. And I don't know what comes after that either. No idea.
You know what I do know? K-pop Demon Hunters.
K-pop
It's
Demon
currently
Hunters.
my film of the year.
I'm gonna watch it. Sold.
And I think, it's not probably not for everyone, but it was for fucking me. So there we go.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. On
I'm
that note,
watching it.
James, what have you been up to? Where can people find you?
You can find me every week. Elyse and I do a podcast, a trivia podcast, where Elyse finds really fun trivia questions, and then we never know the answers, so we have to come up with funny answers. It's called Answer For It, and we do it alongside Age of the Casio and Zach Anner. So you can find that every Tuesday.
Elyse, what have you been up to?
I'm the same place. I'm the same place at Elyse Willems. You can find me at the
Hell
theater.
Hell yeah.
Waiting
Find me at the
outside,
movies.
digging
Bring it
for
back.
popcorn scraps.
James, what about you? What you been up to?
Ryan.
I
Yeah,
called
James.
you James. Sorry, Ryan. I looked at you and said
Hey.
What are you
James.
doing?
Ryan.
Oh, yeah, me?
We met. What have you been up to?
Australia.
Where can people find you?
You can find me next week. I will be hosting and emceeing and being the referee of a robot fight club live stream out of San Francisco.
This
Am
is
I-
going up next Friday,
Oh.
so
It will be actually that
Cool.
day.
Friday.
Today.
Yeah.
Whatever you're doing today, watch the live stream,
Wow.
the Robot Fight Club live stream.
all right, I'll make sure it gets up at 9 a.m.
Okay, cool. Also, Ryan Shorts on the internet. Fail Army. You can.
Are you?
You can. They're licensing some of my videos.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
That's awesome.
Huge.
Share me on your mom's Facebook page on Fail
Oh
Army.
my God.
Huge.
That's
Please.
awesome.
Amazing.
And that's it.
You guys want to come with Ryan and me to the Red Bull Soapbox Derby next year?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Next year,
We want
sure,
to do
okay.
the Red Box Soapbox Derby and the Flugtag.
And the Flugtag.
I don't know what
That's
those
the one
are,
where you
but I will
jump
be
off.
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got
I'd
big
rather do the
plans?
jump off than the
Sounds
soapbox.
I was just Googling soapbox derbies, and there's one coming up.
Hell yeah.
Next year.
And Ryan knew about it.
It's coming right up. All right, thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Movies.
Yay,
We love 'em.
movies.
Movies, we love them. That's the catchphrase.